Do you believe in lost places? That was the question on the dusty plaque above the entrance of Welton International Airport, half covered in ivy and thyme. Once a bustling port for international travel, now it was a skeleton, silent, forgotten, and soaked in rumors. It was December 3rd. Cold fog curled over the tarmac like a snake. The only sound was the buzzing fluorescent lights flickering overhead. Matthew Clark, night shift supervisor, sipped lukewarm coffee in the dimly lit control room. He wasn't new. He had seen storms, diversions, even emergencies. But that night, something felt different. Like the airport was watching him. Any movement on Gate 13? Came the voice of Technician Lewis through the radio. Matthew smirked. That gate's been dead for a decade, Lewis. Don't start with ghost stories again. But even as he joked, something made him glance at the CCTV monitors. And there it was. Gate 13. Open. His smile froze. He zoomed in. The double glass doors stood wide open, blackness yawning behind them like an abyss. But there was no security log. No sound. No motion sensor triggered. Lewis, are you seeing this? Seeing what? Gate 13. It's open. A silence followed. Then static. Matthew stared at the monitor. Then at the hallway beyond the security room. It led directly to Gate 13. His hand trembled as he picked up the flashlight. He told himself it was probably a glitch. Maybe wind pressure. Faulty locks. Something explainable. He whispered to no one in particular. I'll check it out. As he stepped into the corridor, the overhead lights began to flicker, one by one, as if guiding him. The silence was so complete that he could hear his heartbeat. The air felt thicker, colder. He approached the gate. The door was indeed open. Beyond it, the boarding bridge was oddly lit with a faint green glow, though no plane was docked. He shouldn't go further, but something pulled him, like an invisible hook in his chest. Then he heard it. A whisper. Female. Cold. Right behind him. Matthew? He spun around. No one. Again. Matthew, don't you remember your flight? He staggered back, his breath visible in the cold. The air smelled like rust and old perfume. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed from inside the jet bridge. He pointed his flashlight. The light flickered, and for a split second, he saw something. A shadow. Standing. Tall. Wearing an old pilot's hat. Matthew blinked. Gone. Then, at his feet, he saw something slip out from under the shadows. A boarding pass. Crumpled. Damp. He bent down and picked it up. Flight number. 666. Departure time. 3 a.m. Gate. 13. Name. Matthew Clark. He gasped. And behind him, the sound of high heels echoed. Tap. 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 Approaching slowly. He turned. Darkness swallowed him. Dash dash dash. The next morning, the security room was empty. Only static on the radios. Matthew's flashlight lay on the floor outside Gate 13, still on, pointing toward nothing. But in his chair, someone found something odd. A boarding pass. Still warm. And it had today's date. I don't believe in ghosts. That was the first thing Arnold Blackwood said when he signed up for the Welton Airport night shift. A former Air Force technician, grounded by injury, he didn't fear dark corridors or old stories. He feared boredom. But boredom was not what awaited him. 3 days had passed since Matthew Clark vanished. Officially, it was labeled personal leave. Unofficially, every staff member whispered his name with a chill. Arnold ignored them. Ghost stories are for drunk workers and bored guards, he told himself. But when he reached the security desk that night, he found a strange file placed neatly beside the monitor. It wasn't there before. It was labeled in red. Gate 13. Restricted manifest. He opened it. Inside was a black and white photo of an aircraft. Model. McDonnell Douglas DC-10. Flight number. 666. Arnold frowned. That plane had been discontinued 2 decades ago. As he flipped the page, a gust of cold air blew through the room, though no windows were open. The security monitor suddenly blinked and showed, runway 4 activity detected. He looked up. There, on the screen, was the impossible. A DC-10 aircraft was gliding silently down the abandoned runway. No lights, no landing gear deployed, no sound. It just hovered for a second, then touched down like a feather. What the hell? He radioed the tower. Control, this is Security Officer Blackwood. I've got an unauthorized landing on runway 4. Are you picking this up? No response. Control, respond. We have an unidentified aircraft. Still nothing. He grabbed his flashlight and sprinted toward the terminal windows. Fog had crept in unnaturally thick. But through the haze, he could see it. The aircraft was taxiing toward Gate 13. That gate's sealed, he whispered. There's no jet bridge, no connection. It can't. The plane stopped. A low hum vibrated the floor. The jet bridge, previously rusted and sealed shut, began to extend on its own. With a screech like a dying animal, it connected to the old aircraft. Arnold's hands trembled. He shouldn't go closer. But something in him, curiosity? Or something darker, pulled him forward. As he walked toward Gate 13, the terminal lights began to dim behind him, one by one. His footsteps echoed. And then, he saw them. Passengers, stepping off the plane. They moved slowly, lifeless, faces pale, clothes old-fashioned, like from different eras. A little girl in a 1940s dress. A businessman with a blood-soaked tie. An old woman clutching a cracked porcelain doll. But none of them looked human anymore. Their eyes were either missing or glowing faintly. Arnold tried to speak. Who are you? The businessman stopped, turned slowly, and said, in a voice that wasn't his. We never landed. We never died. We just keep arriving. Arnold backed away, heart pounding. He dropped his flashlight, picked up his radio. Base. Someone respond. There are people, passengers, dead ones. I don't know what I'm seeing. No answer. Just static. He turned to run, but froze. One last figure stood at the gate. A tall man in a pilot's uniform. Hat tilted down, face shadowed. Arnold Blackwood, the man said softly. Your flight has been confirmed. Seat 23A. Arnold shook his head. No, I didn't book anything. I'm not part of this. The pilot extended a bony hand. Everyone has a departure time. Yours is now. The lights went out. Morning. The terminal was silent again. No one remembered seeing Arnold clock out. His file was missing. His ID badge was found at Gate 13, along with a blood-stained boarding pass. Flight 666, Seat 23A. And on the glass door of Gate 13, someone had written in condensation. Still arriving. Why did you take the job? That's what Detective Elaine Mercer was asked when she accepted the airport case. Her answer was simple. I don't run from ghosts. I hunt them. Elaine had been assigned to missing persons before, but never two vanishing employees within a week, both tied to the same location, Gate 13. When she entered the terminal that night, the silence felt hostile. Like the air itself was warning her to leave. She didn't. She wanted answers. The airport manager, a pale man named Derek Holt, guided her through the abandoned section. No one uses this wing anymore. It's been sealed since the Terminal 13 incident in 1997. Elaine paused. Incident? He hesitated. A plane. Flight 666. It vanished after takeoff. No wreckage, no signal. The gate was decommissioned after that. She raised an eyebrow. Then why are your employees disappearing here now? Holt said nothing. She turned and stared at the gate's faded number, 13. Open it, she said. Holt refused. So she pried it open herself. Inside, the air was ice cold. The lights were dim, and the walls were lined with rust and strange markings, like someone had clawed their way out, or in. Suddenly, her walkie crackled. Detective Mercer, come to Hangar 6. We've found something. At Hangar 6, a storage worker had uncovered a strange object buried behind sealed crates. A black box flight recorder. It had the code. FLT 666BBX. Elaine stared at it. This shouldn't exist. The worker shook his head. It was under a pile marked, condemned cargo. No record of how it got here. Elaine had the box sent to audio analysis. What they heard turned her blood cold. The black box recording. Distorted static. Then, pilot voice. Tower, this is Flight 666 requesting emergency landing. Passengers are not human. Repeat. They are not human. Screaming in background. A child laughing. Another voice, not the pilot. Tell the next ones, don't board. Don't ever board. Then silence. The sound of an old music box playing a lullaby. Then a final whisper smiley face. We're still in the air. Elaine shut off the recorder. Her hands were trembling. Then the power cut out. Slam. The hangar door locked behind her. Red emergency lights glowed. A shadow moved past the window. Her walkie buzzed with static, then a whisper came through. "Detective Mercer, we've saved you a seat. 24A. She froze. No one knew what seat numbers were on the black box. No one but her. In the flickering light, she saw a passenger manifest sliding from under the hangar door. She picked it up. Every name was familiar. Matthew Clark, Arnold Blackwood, hers. And beside her name, confirmed. Elaine looked up, heart pounding. And outside, parked in the fog, the DC-10 waited at gate 13. Its lights were off. Its engines dead. But inside, shadows moved. And the cabin door began to open. The night had swallowed the terminal. Detective Elaine Mercer stood frozen near gate 13, clutching the passenger manifest that listed her name, confirmed. 24A. Outside, the ancient DC-10 loomed like a steel ghost, its windows flickering with movement, shadows shifting inside. Her phone was dead, her radio was silent, and the airport's emergency systems? Offline. But something was calling her to the gate. Elaine reached the door. The air grew impossibly cold. Her breath came out in mist. She drew her sidearm, though deep down, she knew bullets meant nothing here. The door creaked open, and the jet bridge extended on its own, with rusted groans and inhuman clicks, like the metal had nerves and they were waking. Each step toward the aircraft felt heavier than the last, as if gravity itself resisted her. Then, she boarded. The lights inside the plane flickered on. Empty seats. A soft humming noise. The scent of decay. But what hit her first was the silence. It wasn't normal silence. It was a pressurized hush, like the air had been dead for decades. She stepped down the aisle. Row 24, seat A. It was empty. But on the tray table was a single item. A worn-out photograph. It showed her, as a child, standing next to her father, Captain John Mercer. She staggered back. That was impossible. Her father disappeared during a transatlantic flight in 1997. Flight 666. The intercom cracked to life. A deep, chilling voice spoke. "Final boarding complete. All passengers present, except one." A shadow moved in the cockpit. Elaine pushed forward. Inside, the pilot sat still, face turned away. She approached slowly. "Who are you?" The figure turned. It was her father. But his skin was pale, waxen. His eyes hollow. He smiled slowly. "You came back for me." Elaine whispered, No, this isn't real." He stood, now towering over her. "No, Elaine. This is the only thing that's ever been real. This plane is limbo. We carry the forgotten, the cursed, those whose deaths never mattered." She raised her gun. "Let me go." He stepped closer. "You can't leave once your name is on the manifest. And yours has been here, since the day I vanished." She shouted, "You're not my father." Suddenly the cabin tilted, lights flashing red. The engines roared. The windows cracked. Voices screamed from every direction. Shadows rose from the seats, the passengers. Elaine ran. Down the aisle. Seat numbers flashing like strobe lights, every row now occupied by the dead. She reached the door, sealed. "Let me out," she screamed. From the overhead speakers. "Final call. All souls aboard." Then, silence. The door creaked open. She tumbled out of the plane, landing on cold tile. Morning. Airport staff found her collapsed at gate 13. Unconscious. Heart racing. Clothes damp with fog. She was alive. But change. Later that week, she checked the manifest from the old records. Every name on that cursed Flight 666? Real. All missing persons. All vanished from airports across the globe. For decades. And then she found one final update. A new manifest page. Uploaded anonymously. Just 2 names. Elaine Mercer, confirmed, 24A. Next passenger, unassigned. And beneath it, scrawled in blood-red text. The gate never closes. The flight never ends. We're always boarding. The end.